Hi there. So this is actually part 2 of the story that I recorded last week. I didn't know there was a part 2. I've learned many things. I need to find stories with cheerful endings because these are trying times, and I had that request. I also learned that this is not Celtic, this is Celtic. Thank you for your patience. This is called Dianaimh and the Kelpie. After her brother and the other princes were lost to the Kelpie, the sea creature who rode away with them on its back, Dianaimh sat often on the sand overlooking an inlet. Her father was king of Scythianach. He prized Dianaimh, whose name meant flawless jewel of the islands. One day she sat upon the shore of a loch and sang a sad song. Long the nights when I cannot sleep, I look out into the evening air. I remember the nights that you were here, and you will never come again. I long for you, my love. A young man approached. He was handsome and smartly dressed. It's easy to cry when you hear a song like that, he said. Look, I have a tear on my cheek. I've not had the chance to enjoy the love about which I sing, answered Dianaimh, but I've lost a brother whom I loved. Wipe the tear from my cheek and you'll feel better, said the young man. Dianaimh dried the stranger's tear, and the drop stayed on her fingertip. It wet her breast when she moved her hand away from his face. The warmth of the tear penetrated her heart, and she fell in love with the young man and his amazingly green eyes. Please, sir, tell me your name, she said. Eich Uisage, Lord of the Deep. I'm the Kelpie. Does that frighten you? She knew the legend. One tear from the Kelpie makes a mortal his slave and lover. I'm not frightened, Dianaimh answered. I love you, Dianaimh, the Kelpie said. They met each morning on the beach as two mortals. They walked along the shore, arm in arm, told each other stories, took afternoon naps. If I ever fail to wake when the sun begins to set, shake me and tell me to depart, said the young man. Each day at sunset, he left for his underwater home to take the form of the Kelpie. One afternoon during their nap, Dianaimh awoke. She saw her lover still in slumber. What a beautiful sunset this will be, and a pity to wake him, she thought. Dianaimh closed her eyes. She reached to stroke her lover's hair. Instead of silken locks, she felt strands of slime. Dianaimh opened her eyes. A strange white sea creature was holding her. His hoof was in her hand. Another hoof trapped one of her braids beneath it. Dianaimh cut off the braid to free herself. She no longer felt the Kelpie's magic in her heart. She was so upset by what she saw. For days afterwards, Dianaimh ignored the call of her lover from the beach when she heard it. She realized she was not his slave anymore. When she went to the beach, she had a plan. I'm wounded, my love, said the Kelpie, who appeared again as a young man. You've been ignoring me, but I'm happy you've come today. Look, I cry for joy. Come, wipe away my tears. Not now, not ever. I know this is one of your tricks, Dianaimh answered. It is your love and no other I require, the Kelpie protested. Despite Dianaimh's newly gained wisdom, feelings for the Kelpie stirred in her heart. His green eyes still dazzled. She tried to rein in her feelings. Eich Uisage, do you love me? She asked. For the rest of time, he answered. Then I would like a gift. Name the gift, and it is yours, said the Kelpie. The gift I ask is for you to bring back the princes you stole, the chieftain's sons. The Kelpie released a long, low sound, but then he agreed to her request. I know you scorn me, dear Dianaimh. Nonetheless, the gift is yours on the eve when this world and the other world meet. The young man changed into the marvelous white horse. He reared on the sand before Dianaimh. She watched him gallop until he ran out of the beach. He leaped on top of the waves to the horizon. Dianaimh's eyes followed his path into the setting sun. The eve when this world and the other world met was the sacred feast of the god Samhain. Pipers played, the women sang the ancient songs, dancers whirled about the festival hall of the king of Scythianach, Dianaimh's father. Dianaimh waited for her gift. A great storm broke out. The waters of the ocean crashed upon the shore. The birds of the sea cried in fear and sought shelter. The only light in the thick, dark sky was lightning. Thunder shook the fortress of the king so that everyone ran outside onto the rain-whipped beach. Out towards the horizon, the ocean appeared to reach for the sky. One wave stood taller and longer than all the rest, and it started to move towards the shore. The people standing on the beach watched it with fear growing in their hearts. Children started to cry. The women stopped singing the ancient songs. The wave was closer now. Everyone on the beach backed away from it, climbing higher and higher onto the cliffs. The giant wave crashed into the shore and emptied on the sand. Dianaimh was first to understand what had happened. She ran to the place where the wave spilled. Out of the foam walked the sons of the chieftains, the missing princes. The mortals cheered, every one of them, even the king. Dianaimh silently wished the Kelpie peace and love. Good night.